Well, good morning, gentlemen. I'm always honored to share with you in Regroup and to talk about what God wants to be doing in your life. And uh, this morning's talk is an application of a beautiful tool of understanding. And I was teasing that one of you who just spoke and welcomed the new member talked about the word connection. And one of you actually said the opposite of addiction is connection. And this particular understanding that I'm going to try to pass on to you is the heart of becoming connected to other people. And in the process of being connected to other people, you actually understand yourself better. And so I've titled this the self-expression window. It could also be called the self-understanding window. And because if you understand who you are and how you come across to other people, that's a sign of emotional intelligence. That's a sign of increased self-awareness. And so this is a practical application to us in recovery of a concept called the Johari window, and it'll really help you as you understand it. It'll allow you to focus and push in a direction that will certainly, I believe, strengthen your wherewithal of why you are doing what you're doing and some good reasons behind it. So if you can at least refer to the notes and have a look at them, it'll help you because I have a diagram there. But for those of you who don't, just imagine a square divided in four. So there's four different squares. And the Johari window says that in these four squares, this is how you could understand yourself and how you interact with others. And in the top left corner of the four squares is what's called the open or the public area. And this is everybody in the world would be aware of this. I mean, if they saw me in person, they would say, well, that guy's about 6 feet tall. He's in his 60s. He's a thin build. He's wearing a golf hat, whatever, right? But it's public. They could go online and say, oh, he directs an organization. You see what's open or public, everybody can see about you. You can't hide certain things because they're open for everybody to see. And so that is what's called the open or the public area. And that's one quadrant of self-expression, including self-understanding, but everybody sees it. I mean, just right now, even as your camera's on, they can see, your hairstyle, if you've got it right. They can see, somebody rebuild. They can see what you're wearing. They can see the background in your home or your office or whatever. So that is the public area or the open area where everybody sees. So that's known to you and known to others. Everybody knows that. It's known to you, it's public, and it's known to others. They see it, so it's public for them. That's the first quadrant. We move across right, and we go to the second quadrant, which is the hidden or private zone. Hidden or private zone, which it's known to me, but unknown to you. It's unknown to others. It's known to me because I'm choosing to keep it hidden. I'm choosing to keep it private. I'm choosing to keep it a secret. And so that zone there, known to me, unknown to you. Now, there's a lot of things that are, good to be known to me and not known to you. I don't meet a stranger in an elevator in Hawaii and say, oh yeah, here's my bank account number. Well, obviously there's things that you do keep private and you do need to keep private. That's fine. But as far as growth and understanding, see, the only way that people will come to know this area, which is hidden, private, or secret, is that you actually have to volunteer. We're going to talk about these, but you have to disclose to others. You have to become known. You have to be connected. And the opposite of addiction is connection. And so the critical thing about this area is, you and I in these groups choose what level of disclosure we're going to do. We're going to choose whether we're going to keep certain things hidden or not. And the argument would be, this is a group of any place in the world that you need to be honest with yourself and honest with others. And so the hidden or private area needs to be one where you tackle and say, I cannot keep these secrets. I cannot, only tell part of the story to keep the image good. I don't want to have men think ill of me or poorly of me. So I'll just tell this much and that'll look like I'm being honest, but you're still holding things back. And so this second area, again, the hidden or private area, is known to me, but unknown to others. You don't know that about me. You don't know that about me unless I choose to tell you. The third area, the lower left quadrant, is the blind spots or the unaware region. Blind spots or unaware. This is known to others, but unknown to me. There's certain things that you don't see about yourself. There's certain things that others see about you that you don't realize you're coming across that way. You don't realize there's not self-awareness about certain things. And so what happens is they're called blind spots because you don't see them. Matter of fact, let's just say as people ask questions of you, you answer them, but 3 or 4 guys will say, why is he so defensive? You don't even think you're defensive. You're just, in your mind, just telling the story and you're just whatever. But if you ask 4 guys, they say, yeah, I don't know what his deal is. But every time we start talking, he gets really defensive and he whatever. And you don't sense it. You don't know it. You're blind to this, right? And so what happens is, a good example of my life is when I got married years ago, I had no idea how selfish I was until I got married. And then at first I lived in, I'm not a selfish guy. I work with youth all the time. I love youth. I help youth. How could I be selfish? But you see, so you live in this lack of awareness of how you're coming across. You actually have blind spots, things that you don't see. You're blind to, you can't see them. And so you are unaware of these things. You're unaware of how you're coming across. And someone in your world might see things about you that it would be wise for you to be open to their input. That's why you got to be known in these groups, because as guys get to know you better, they go, I think something maybe needs to be addressed here. And they could be pointing out things that you don't see about yourself, but they and even others see and could affirm that I think there's some work to do there. We tease that, sometimes guys who are addicts get stuck in immaturity and they are emotional adolescents, but they don't see themselves that way. And so, they make excuses and they justify and explain away their addiction. And guys saying, that smells like emotional lessons. That sounds like you're making excuses again. You know what I'm saying? But they've been thinking this way for so long, they're actually convinced in their heart that, well, this is the way it is, and I'm not like this, and that's her problem, and yada, yada, yada. But meantime, they keep doing the same behavior. And so there is blind spots and unawareness. So that's the third quadrant, where it's known to other people about you and really not necessarily known by you, thus being blind spot. The last area, which is the lower right of the 4 quadrants, is the unknown area, or some call it the mystery area. I prefer unknown, where it's unknown to me and unknown to others. There's things about yourself that unless God reveals it to you, you won't see and understand. And those things aren't seen and understood by other people. And so if you look at these areas, the first quadrant being the open or public area, which is known to me and known to others. The hidden or private area, which is known to me, but unknown to others unless I choose to disclose it. The third quadrant is the blind spots, which is known and seen by others, but unknown to me, where I'm unaware. And finally, the unknown area, which is really great description. The unknown area is unknown to you and unknown to others. So you've got to understand these 4 areas. This is a simple tool of understanding and how you operate. Self-expression, self-understanding. The open area, and you can see there in the definition, I've tried to even be clearer. The open area is often called the public area, is that part of the conscious self, our attitudes, behaviors, motivations, values, our way of life, of which we're aware of and which others can see and know. We move within this area with freedom. In this area, we're kind of open books because you can't hide the fact, well, I can't hide that I'm 6 feet tall, etc. And so those who know us best see this all the time. Even acquaintances are aware of most of this area because it's open for all to see. Okay, so that is the open area. The hidden area, which I've called number 2, the hidden area cannot be known to others unless we decide to disclose it. There is that which we freely keep within ourselves, that which we retain maybe out of fear of rejection, fear of they might think less of us, maybe shame with it. But the degree to which we share our private self with others, in other words, disclosure, is the degree to which we can be known and loved for who we are. See, if I never share with you my dark side, my struggles, my hurdles in my small group, especially the breakout rooms, if I never share my struggles with you, then I'm always afraid if you really knew everything about me, you would likely not love me. And so you live in this fear of rejection. One of the most beautiful gifts to mankind is to be known and still loved. Like my wife knows my idiosyncrasies. In some cases, they're idiosyncrasies. My wife knows my dark side. She knows my bad habits. She knows all that about me. And yeah, there's a few things too that are good that she likes about me, but understand that she knows me and she still loves me. And that's the safest place to be in a relationship where you're known and loved. And it does involve risk to disclose because there's a sense that I could be rejected. But the problem is if you do not disclose your hidden or private area, then you always live in fear. And there's always things that you have been able to deal with, especially on your own. The blind area, there are things about ourselves which we do not know, but others can see more clearly. And these are things we imagine to be true of ourselves for a variety of reasons, but others don't see this at all about us. When others say what they see and give feedback, especially in a supportive, responsible way, and we're able to hear it, in that way, we're able to test the reality of who we are and able to grow. When they point out things, matter of fact, the idea of being humble and teachable is something I'm going to teach on yet this fall. The importance of teachability, letting people speak into my life. Well, that would come exactly in this area of blind spots, things that I don't see about myself. Excuses that I make, tendencies I have that I don't see true about me, but other people could confirm, yeah, I see that true about you too. And you go, oh, wow, I better do some thinking about that. And so letting people speak into your blind spots is a real, see, between dealing honestly with your hidden area and becoming more open and disclosing and being able to let others speak into your life and point out things they see that are inconsistent, there is the true heart of recovery. Because I'm connected through volunteering myself to you, and I'm collected by letting you speak into my life. Now, the unknown area, again, for just a further richer explanation, is God has made us so much more richer and more complex, whether it's others or ourselves. We can fully not understand the intricacies of who humankind is, and our mind and our heart and our will and our motivation and how they all work together. But from time to time, some things happen. It's felt, it's read, it's heard. You might dream about it, but something from the unconscious comes to the conscious. Something about who you are from this area, God reveals to you. And we have these little aha moments. And then we know what we've never known before about ourselves. And that's an area where God can do some work in my life. So the open area is visible and is seen by others. The hidden or private area is where I need to volunteer myself. And this is where I need to choose to be accountable and open up the door and really be accountable on all my stuff. The blind area, I need to welcome people's inputs. What are you seeing in my life? That's what good accountability does. I receive correction. I receive challenges from Larry, my accountability partner, which most of you have met. And so good accountability is letting them speak into your life about things that they see about you that you don't see about yourself. And so that's critical. Now, if you go to the second page of the handout, you got to understand that the two principal self-understanding growth corridors are when you ask for feedback. You see, this is the blind area. You ask for input. You ask for, hey, can you help me out here? Now, notice in the margin, there's a little explanation there. It is through asking, which is feedback. I have them actually in the wrong spot. So just switch those two that are in the brackets there. It is through asking feedback and telling disclosure that our open area is expanded and we gain a greater understanding of who we are and how we come across. These steps reduce the unknown area. And because see, the more I reveal myself and disclose, the more I ask questions, the unknown area shrinks because I've made public and open things that I've kept secret. So the unknown area shrinks. And I also ask for input. And by doing so, I'm learning more about myself in what others see, and the unknown area shrinks. Now, courage is needed to disclose yourself because of personal fears and values and feelings and attitudes, and to receive feedback on how others see them. So courage is needed to disclose, and courage is needed to ask for feedback. We need to be open for feedback, and we need to be willing to disclose our dark side. So let's look at now for application and growth. What does this mean for you and I in recovery, you and I as growth in men? We argue that men make men, but men can't make you and improve you if you remain private and you don't start sharing your struggles inside. That's why when you're often tempted to go in a dumb direction, we're not reaching out to guys. We're not volunteering that we're struggling. We keep it hidden. And if we don't reach out to guys, they can't help. And there's things that if you keep coming to group, guys are going to see about you and say, hey, I'm a little concerned about this. How come, whatever they see. And you'd be really wise to listen when guys make suggestions. It doesn't mean they're 100% right. It's an opportunity for you to think it through and see if other people kind of feel the same and try to grow. So let's look at the application now of the self-expression window. My hidden or private area, I must be willing to disclose my issues and failures to grow as a person. Okay? We talked about that. My blind spots or unaware area, I must be willing to listen to others and how I'm coming across, and thus grow as a person through their insight and their perspective about me. In so doing these things, the unknown or the mystery area actually shrinks through self-discovery, and the public area increases. Now, as there are two sides to every coin, so every person has gifts and abilities. Everybody has gifts and abilities, but we also have a dark side. Just like two sides of a coin. There's a side that, is kind of the white side, the side of us that comes across together and good. And then there's a dark side. Everyone has a dark side. And our challenge needs to be letting guys into our struggles and letting guys speak into our lives of what they see going on that would be part of our struggles, to continue to be willing to address the dark side. One of the really, really powerful verses Jesus said in John chapter 8, in verse 32 and 36, and he says, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. The truth about Jesus is the transforming truth of all. When you understand his love, his grace, the truth will set you free. You won't be stuck in this prison of guilt and shame and embarrassment. So that's incredible. That's good. But you also need to understand the truth about you. See, the truth about you will set you free. When I accepted the fact and began to see, because I was blind to it at first, how selfish I was as a newly, married husband. I tease that I claim full rights to jerkhood for the first 5 years of our marriage. And my wife says at least 7. But the point is, there's growth that's needed, but there's the truth about the Lord and how it applies to my life, but also coming to understand the truth about me. That also sets me free. Because the more I understand the truth about me, then I can let God work in my life to deal with those things that are in the dark side. So freedom comes from seeing yourself as God sees you, seeing yourself honestly, with all your strengths and your limitations, with your positive side and your dark side, to be known and still loved by God, because he knows everything about you. He knows all that you've done. He knows all the mistakes that you made. He knows how the addiction has beaten you up, and he loves you, and he wants to help you beyond these things. He doesn't want you to stay in the quagmire of your garbage. He wants to move you forward. And the more you include others in the journey who can be part of your band of brothers to say, hey, walk with me. We like to say we leave no man behind. We walk with people, and we work with others through hard times. And it would be foolish to be in a group like this and be pretending that you're doing good and not facing honestly your real self and how you're struggling. What a crazy thing to be in a recovery group and not recover because you're too ashamed to admit that you struggle with something. Like that would be brain dead. I mean, you're here to recover, so volunteer yourself, disclose the things you're struggling with, ask guys for input on what do they do and how do they handle this, and you become known and you can be still loved, you see. And the beautiful thing about all this is there is such room for growth as you become connected. The opposite of addiction is connected to the men, especially in your breakout rooms, connected to other men that you're accountable to, becoming known because you volunteer yourself, and also letting people speak into your life. So freedom comes in letting God work in your life, helping you become the person he wants you to be. You let him heal and work through your dark side with the help of others. And your personal style, how you come across, is not an excuse for sin. It's not an excuse for treating people poorly or for living selfishly. Well, that's just the way I am. I'm just that kind of guy. No. Whatever your personality is, I mean, I could have played the card on, well, I'm just kind of a selfish guy at heart, nothing I can do about it. No, I need to work on that selfishness and learn to put others first. Okay, so our personality or the style, how we come across, and even while you don't understand how difficult my addiction is, et cetera, these are not excuses for transformation. So who you are and how you come across to other people still needs to be transformed and long-term managed in a way that honors God. And that's where we're going. The opposite addiction is connection. And you become connected through making hidden things public by disclosing your challenges. You become healed and encouraged in a good direction by letting people speak into your life, being humble and teachable as people see your blind spots, which of course by definition is I'm blind to them. I can't see them. So may God help us work on those two areas: volunteering, disclosing my challenges to the men in the group, to be known, still loved, but actually to work through the real issues. You're in recovery for a reason, to recovery from the things that you still have to deal with inside that you're not being honest with even the men in your breakout room. And then secondly, be open to the input of others, things they see about you. I mean, I'm famous for being a straight shooter. People come to me for counseling, they kind of get warm up. Be careful, because he shoots straight, he speaks honest. Well, I speak honest, just like a surgeon will take a scalpel to deal with something festering inside, and he'll deal with stuff. Well, I don't want to hurt you, so I'm not going to take my scalpel and cut you open and take out this poison in you. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to hurt you. No. It's going to hurt a lot more. You're going to die if you don't get this ulcer out or this ruptured appendix or whatever. You understand that the surgeon is calling to do things. He's making this incision to allow you to get the healing that you need. You need to let people speak into your life so you can deal with the tumors of recovery that may be there. So understanding who you are and how you come across is critical for the recovery towards your integrity and purity that you need. And again, it's kind of cute. It's known as the Johari window, but actually could be pronounced Johari window. Why? Because if you go way back to when this was first created, one guy's first name was Joseph left, and the other guy was Harry Ingram. And they put together, this is the window we created called the Johari, but it's really become the Johari because people didn't like Johari anyway. So there's that tool of understanding that I hope you can apply to your life and realize the importance of disclosing to others what you try to keep secret and being open and inviting feedback of others what you're blind to. May that encourage you today, gentlemen.